time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. On the tackle, Tyrann Mathieu.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The former #1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney, in there to get him, and that's sack number 18 for him on the year.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. 21-0 our score. They've got it 1st and 10 inside their own 20-yard line.
Come back, come back.
Watson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Houston. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdown passes now in the ball game, and the Texans will add on to their lead. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Fairbairn now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense making their way back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year. Ajayi hit. He lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. It's another touchdown pass for Deshaun Watson, his 5th of the afternoon. And the Texans continue to pour it on.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over. The other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
You know, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a litlittle conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and set them.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. And they'll go ahead and down this one right on the chalk of the 20-yard line. Deshaun Watson of the Texans offense trot back out there. And he's been magnificent as we start to roll on all these touchdown passes he's had so far. It's been fun to watch.
It's been almost poetic, hasn't it? Captain, my captain.
Watson will bring up the Texans here 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Richmond, 10, back 22.
Here's Watson. Looking long for Thomas. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Now Watson. Looking again for Thomas. This time complete. Past the 20. And he's in for the score, and his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
There we go, back man. 120.
Wentz now on 1st down. And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Here we go. Waiting.
Now it's Ajayi. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. This is Ajayi. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 here before we get to halftime. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a first carry for Deontay Foreman, who was lost to the Achilles injury last year. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Almost unstoppable on the ground there, as that one is good for 39. Right back to him on 1st down. He's to the 10, and he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great play there. 25 yards, and the Texans add on. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Wentz now with the rest of his offensive unit heading onto the field. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to...
Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Brandon Dunn in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
What's this on?
On second down, here's Wentz. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter. A lot of time to change things. Here's Shane Leckler now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Getting set to go again, DeAndre Hopkins marches back onto the field. He has certainly made the most of his catches so far, both of them going for touchdowns here in half number 1.
And we've never met a team that doesn't talk about getting off to a fast start and featuring guys that they want to have the ball early. We're seeing both of those come into play here. Off to an incredible start, got their feature guy going, and now everyone else should have opportunities.
Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Watson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Texans continue to pour it on. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. First down, but couldn't connect. Earlier in the quarter when the defense was keying on the run, you said offensively they need to open things up, take some shots downfield. Didn't work there, but they did.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my tune now. I still think it's the right play because when you take those shots downfield, you open the eyes of the defense to what you could do to them, and that may open some things up for you offensively.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. His first half struggles continue. He has yet to complete a pass. Hard to believe.
It is because I don't see anything wrong with him physically. Maybe he's a little amped up to begin with. Would have thought he would have settled down by now. I think someone's got to get in his ear, got to be a psychologist a little bit, and get him back on track.
Here's Shane Leckler now. He's been terrific so far. Pulled in at the 24. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And getting our first update now from Nashville. And the Redskins there out to an early lead. Alex Smith with 1 touchdown pass thus far. The drive starts with Foreman on the ground. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. For a lot of people, the MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. There's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too.
So we have reached halftime here. It's the visitors, the Texans, out in front. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. The weather might be cold, but the playoff races are heating up here on this final Sunday before Christmas. So let's get to it. We'll kick things off with an interconference matchup. The New York Giants on the road at Indianapolis. And it's the Giants who have the lead as they approach halftime. 2 touchdown passes there for Eli. From there, we head to Hard Rock Stadium to check on the Dolphins at home in Miami. And they trail in that one as it's the visiting Jags who are out in front. Marquise Lee, a touchdown reception. Finally, let's get to the country music capital of the world and see what's happening with the Titans at home in Nashville. And it's the visiting Washington Redskins who have the lead in that one. Josh Dotson, a touchdown reception. In our game is Deshaun Watson, showing no ill effects from that knee injury that knocked him out last year. His guys are on the road to Blowout City. They lead it big as we send you back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. DeAndre Hopkins and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. And I think we both agreed he could have a really good game with this matchup, but over 200 yards now.
I don't think we saw it as that good. And I think what really makes it special is when games like this are occurring, it's not just getting locked in and in the zone and on a roll. It's continuing to adjust throughout the game because, you know, the defense is kicking coverages towards him, trying their best to slow him down, and he keeps getting the better of them.
Yeah, whatever they've done, it hasn't worked. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Again, it's Foreman. And an alley to run. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. Watson hands this to Foreman. And he's got some space here. And he'll get this inside of Philly's 20 before being taken down. A big chunk of yardage there, 37 yards.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Yeah, let me pump out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
A carry for Foreman. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Texans add on. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the 2nd half. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And
I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Working from the gun, Wentz. And, boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
Credit the secondary and credit the defensive game plan. They've been in his hip pocket all game long. They understood coming in that he was a big-time receiver.
Now Wentz on third down. And this is going to be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
And they'll get to this and touch it. Looks like, yeah, right at the 15-yard line here. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's closing in on 200 yards on the ground with the fourth quarter still to come. We're in the third. Good shot to get there.
And now he's got to make sure he convinces his coaching staff to leave him out there and keep touching the ball because
and he's got daylight. It's a foot race. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A big play there. 85 yards. And the Texans continue to pour it on. And he keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, it's got him in the lead. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a bit...
And he loses the football a second time. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback and the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. A 23-yard run. And the Texans use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Let's go.
They've really been able to contain Alshon Jeffrey. That catch a rare exception in this game.
And that's a feather in their cap because he's such a tone setter for his team on offense.
Sproles lost the Texans say they have it. They do.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
They run again with Foreman. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. 1 quarter remains here in Week 16. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Here's Foreman. Finding room to the 20. And he's all the way down to the 6-yard line. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They get it to him running left. That gets him 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. They come up in an offset eye. They'll go with Foreman. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. A great effort there. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Texans add on. Fairbairn good with the extra point. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
From the gun, it's Wentz. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The 4-time All-Pro, J.J. Watt. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And he'll go down after losing yardage at the 10. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make things up.
Getting set to go again, DeAndre Hopkins marches back onto the field. This defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him? Bring him over to our team so we don't have to cover him anymore? Because he is really having a heck of a ball game, isn't he?
Boy, he is. I don't know that a mid-game trade is going to happen, but good thought. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll run it. He's got the lane, and there he goes. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Fairbairn now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. and never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again, and who knows, you may meet up with this team again.
There we go. Back man. Blue 80.
Once again here on 2nd and 10.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Now a play fake. Wentz under a heavy rush, and down he goes. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And here comes the Texans now. They come into enemy territory, and I don't care what the matchup is in the National Football League. You're up like this late in the game on the road. This feels pretty good.
Oh, it feels fantastic. Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's a big-time accomplishment, and to do it this convincingly, that just tears up the script that every home team has, which is nobody comes into our house and pushes us around. They took care of business today.
Yeah, they pushed around, and now the final stages of this one. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll run with Foreman. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to, because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They are down big. They have not scored a single point. I don't know. Are they so defeated at this point you just want to get in the locker room and get the heck out of here?
That is one way to approach it. Sometimes coaches say, that's it, okay? It hasn't worked all game. There's no sense in doing something now. Let's get out of here. No one gets hurt. But others will look at it and say, we still have an opportunity to do something.
On the line.
Exactly.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. J.J. Watt in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, he needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention and reverberate for weeks to come.
The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So for Houston, they're now a win away from a perfect regular season as they move to 15-0. And they'll return home next week to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
it.